Sandy.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. We are here, Level Up Leadership Podcast, where we talk about all things leveling up and leadership. And today we are here with Christina Wilson. Christina's passion is health and wellness, with the goal of offering convenient fitness solutions and education to accommodate busy lifestyles. With nearly 20 years in teaching cycling, Christina also specializes in personal and group training. She is certified through the National Association of Sports Medicine, also known as NASM. She knows one size does not fit all when it comes to one's health and living well. She has made it her mission to help people develop the right formula to get the results they desire for themselves. Welcome, Christina Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much.
This is such an honor and a privilege. I appreciate you.
Too kind.
So this is the second in my series of people who I admire. So we're going to just go ahead and get started right into our questions.
Okay.
So CW Wellness by Design. You have been in operation just under 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So please tell us about your business and the journey you took to get there.
So I've been teaching cycling for a really long time. So I worked in nonprofit world for maybe 13 years or so, and I moved into another position. And sometimes when you leave somewhere for a really long time and you move into something else, sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's not so much. In that instance, it actually was not so much. So I took it upon myself to really kind of delve into, I really want to take this fitness thing to another level. I had already been teaching cycling. I had always been an athlete growing up, and I just knew how important it was for us as humans to move and to keep moving our bodies. Yes. Knowing that they're not always going to move the same that they used to, and that is something I am learning now in my almost mid-40s. But learning to adjust and sharing really what I'm coming to learn along the way with other people, how we evolve and how we move. But I really wanted to delve into how I could take my passion for health and wellness to the next level and helping more people. So I really wanted to delve into that and took a couple jobs working at some small gyms while I was working on studying to get my personal training certification. So I kind of learned a little bit of in and outs by working at some of the box gyms, but a smaller private box gym that I liked here in the city, and had been at a few places teaching, and I just kind of stuck with it for a while. The pandemic came and I said, so we're not going to be inside. We're going to be outside. And we're going to social distance. We're going to be 6 feet apart. We're going to be in fresh air, though. So I moved a lot of my one-on-ones and definitely working with small groups. We were outside for the most part doing a lot of things. And really that's when I kind of got into doing virtual classes with people. And again, classes, individual trainings, one-on-one, and just really making it convenient for people, making it safe at that time, but really making it convenient for people. And I really think that is the wave that people are on, is that convenience is everything. So, yeah.
Agreed. That's wonderful. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Mm-hmm.
What is your definition of wellness?
It's different for everybody. For me, it's about, taking on life, because life will life.
Yes.
And it doesn't always, we try to stick to that wellness when things come our way, and sometimes it just doesn't pan out the way that we want. But we know in the back of our minds that when we are living well and we are doing right, our bodies feel right, we show up right, we feel right, we think right, we do the things in a way that makes you feel almost unstoppable, right? When life happens and other things kind of get in the way, we kind of make poor choices about things that we eat, what we consume, maybe hanging out a little bit too much, just doing the things that we know is not going to promote and keep us on that wellness journey, right? And again, it's different for everybody, but you know what I'm saying out there, people. But knowing that if you stay too far away from where you know you're supposed to be, and that's where feelings and that memory, I always remind my clients of that. It's like, when you are at your top in your prime and you were just feeling amazing and nobody could tell you they couldn't tell you anything about your fitness and your journey. You know where you were and you know how you felt.
Yes.
Most importantly. And so I always like to remind people of that time and that space, and don't ever forget it. But know that when you starting to stray from that, okay, well, let's get right. Let's get back to that meal planning. Let's get back to that gym. It doesn't have to be all the things at the same time either. And I think a lot of people do get caught up on that. Start small. It's taking you to somewhere where you weren't doing the things before. So be okay with that. And then you build on that. And then you build on that. And it doesn't have to, it's not a timeline. It's what works for you, right? And if you need somebody to hold you accountable, of course I can be that person for you. But also keeping in mind for yourself that we are doing this to live.
Yes.
We want to live well and we want to live long. And we cannot do those things if we don't do the things. Right? So wellness is, for me, is just living right, eating right, fueling your body the right way, being kind, offering kindness, offering love. I'm an empath, so I feel all the things, and sometimes that is not great for me. But I love to show up for people. I love to do for people. I love to serve. I'm very kind, I think, in the gym most of the time. But if I feel like you slacking or you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, I'm going to give it to you. But it's about living well. It's a lifestyle, and really that's what I want to share, and I really want to represent. Sometimes I am not the best representation. Sometimes I am. But again, it's a life. It's a journey.
Yes.
You know, I am not consistent 100%. Yes, I do live this life. But people are like, oh, well, you this or you that. And I'm like, yeah. And it's hard. And again, especially when you hit your 40s. But we adjust, right? You have to adjust, and we have to learn to find the things that are going to keep us living well. And it's going to be different. It's going to look different than what it looked like when we were in our teens, in our 20s, in our 30s, and in our 40s. And it's just about the evolution of life and just figuring out what are those things that are going to keep us living. And if you don't know, you just have to try. Right. You have to try the things. Feel free seeking advice from other people who are maybe doing the things, but know that one size does not fit all. And you just got to find that formula that is going to work for you.
Sounds great. So start small and build from there. I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So it makes it less daunting for sure.
Yes, yeah, because especially when January comes, right? We're near the end of the month, and you know the fad where everybody's like, "Oh, well, we're going to see how many people start falling off at the end of the month." Why does that happen? Because people are trying to do everything all at the same time. Stop it. The year is 365 days.
Yes.
You can try something one month. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you try something else the next month. It's okay, but it's about the trial and the error and finding those things that work for you. Finding the proper time that's going to work in the gym for you. Maybe you're not a morning person, but you know what? You know the morning's going to be the best time, because if you have family, you got errands, you got other things, you wake up and hit the feet, the world's going to take over your day. And sometimes in that morning is the only opportunity that you have for silence and quiet for you.
Yes.
Take that time. Take that moment. Maybe it's to meditate. Maybe it's to get a little sweat in. Maybe it's something, but make sure you iron out that time. Maybe it's the evening for you. Like, you know what? How about we just start there? Let's find that time where you can maybe dedicate 20 to 30 minutes just for yourself. We ain't even talk about the nutrition part yet. Let's talk about that. Are you drinking enough water? Like, you know, it's all these things, but sometimes in the beginning of the year, people feel like I got to do this, and this. Don't do that.
Agreed.
Don't do it.
Agreed.
I do not advise. Just take your time with it. We want to be here as long as we can. Take your time and find the things that's going to work. Your formula. That's it.
I love that. Find your formula. Mm-hmm. And how has the wellness industry changed, in your opinion, over the last few years?
I think it depends on what you follow. I like to follow a lot of the doctors that are educating people about your macros and like how to eat and what to eat and eating clean and what does that look like. But then on the other spectrum, you have people who, you know, look for other alternatives or quicker alternatives. It's the fad diets. It's the Ozempic and the Wegovy and all these other things that are out there that people can benefit from. If they have, was it type 2 diabetes, I believe, but that could also be a side effect by taking the medication as a weight loss alternative as too. But sometimes people do not have type 2 diabetes and they look for other alternatives. So I like to say, like, there's no shortcuts to this.
Right.
It's not. And at the end of the day, like any of these short-term fads or any kind of medications or extreme surgeries and things that people do to alter their bodies, at the end of the day, what are you going to do to maintain it? How are you maintaining it? And how do you know what those side effects are going to bring you down the road?
Right.
5 years, 10 years from now. Like, we want you here. I want you here. Your family and loved ones want you here. Now, granted, that's not to say that there are other higher powers and things that can happen in our lives that will take us away. But, if I'm about prevention over here.
Yes.
So if there are things that we know that we can do safely for ourselves, eating the right things, moving our bodies, breathing, trying to keep stress low as often as we can, often as we can. We know stress is always going to be there, but it's just simply a matter in a way of how do we manage it? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a mechanism? Do you have a way of dealing with stress in your life? But then you have this quick, this nonsense, this loud nonsense coming in on things that can get you there faster. That doesn't create behavioral change.
Right.
That's very short term. That is not long lasting for us. And for me, like trying to be an example is important as well. And just trying to do, and I'm not trying to sound judgy or anything like that, but for me, it comes from a place of concern because I worry about, and again, I'm an empath. I feel all these things. So I think about when people do things quickly to try to resolve an issue that is something that we are going to have to manage for the rest of our lives. And then what?
Yeah.
Like we get something done or we do something in our young 20s and 30s, like we feeling ourselves. But again, what strategies and what ways are you, or behaviors or things that you are incorporating to maintain that health and that wellness that you were able to, obtain at that time?
Right.
What is that going to look like for you 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road from doing these other things? Or what are the side effects of doing these things 5, 10? You know what I mean? So, and I guess it's fear. I'm a scaredy cat. I don't do none of that. I grew up in an era of MTV when they would do like the little surgeries and modifications. No. No, I'm scared. So I worry about people. And it's like, if you were doing things one way, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Like some people feel like what they were doing before was boring or it's too boring and it's, but it worked, right?
Right.
Why do you need to get there quicker? Why? Don't. Because it's going to come back quicker.
Yes.
Sadly.
Right. Agreed.
Sadly. I mean, and we've all experienced it. I mean, that's it. Just don't.
Right. Just don't.
My advice.
Forget the fad diets.
Forget it.
So tell us about each of your program offerings. And I know that you do have Muscles and Mimosas, the spinning. So please tell us what you offer.
All the things. So I do virtual classes, 6 a.m. So yes, I know it's early. Virtual classes a couple of days a week with small groups. I have cycling classes that I offer as well in the evenings. And then I also teach at several different places as well. We're going to talk about me and my business. So teaching the virtual classes, cycling classes, and then I do Muscles and Mimosas, trying to get that going again. We had a little mini hiatus here in January, but my hope in February is to have the next one coming and going. And really with Muscles and Mimosas, I love to share just wellness and movement and what it looks like. Because again, one size does not fit all when it comes to your health and living well. That can be taken in so many different areas. It can be taken to the extreme of, whatever diet or whatever nutrition plan you're following for one person may not be the same for the other person. And then you tweak it in a way that it works for you. It's the same thing for fitness with me. Some people do not enjoy cycling. How dare they? Like, have you taken a class with me? No, but sometimes that's not people's jam. Maybe they prefer Pilates. Maybe they prefer yoga. And I love all of those things. Do I teach all of those things? No, I can't be the hat of all the things to everybody. But there are many amazing professionals in this field who do. And do I want to meet them? And do I want you to meet them? Absolutely. So that is kind of what Muscles and Mimosas kind of becomes too. It's like an opportunity for me to kind of share what I do, but it's also an opportunity to share other formats with our community so that they can find that thing that they like, that's going to wake them up, that's going to get them up and get them energized about doing for themselves, doing something wonderful and much needed for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I may not be the person to deliver it, but by golly, if I can find the person around the way who can give that to you, and that you enjoy that person and you enjoy their vibe, you enjoy all the things that they bring to the table, amen. I feel like I've done my job. Yes. But in addition to Muscles and Mimosas, I also like to invite local vendors, healthcare or self-care vendors to come in as well. I have a girlfriend who comes and does massage therapy. I have cold pressed juices coming in, selling sea moss, like special soaps and fragrances, and just all the things to love on yourself. So not only am I going to make you get a little sweaty, but I'm going to also introduce you to some other amazing people in the city who have things that you can also get for yourself to love on yourself in the way that you may need it. So I love the whole kind of idea and concept around Muscles and Mimosas. And I've had a few people asking me when we're bringing it back, and it's coming. It is coming soon, and I miss it as well. So that's kind of like my idea with that. I do want to I've done a few educational topics, like a few lunch and learns with professionals, just to kind of plant the seed on how do you take care of yourself when you're living a busy life. A lot of executives and people working in corporate, they feel like they just don't have the time. You better find it. And it might be first thing in the morning. Maybe it's just 30 minutes, but that 30 minutes could save your life.
Yes, agreed.
Do it, friends. Do it. So just kind of reminding people of things that they know that they need to do and probably should do and probably are really consistent with, or maybe they've just fallen away, a little bit. And they just need a reminder of, come on back. You need this. Your body needs this. Your family needs this. Everybody needs this because we need you.
Yes.
We need you. So just take that nugget, take that time, because you're worth it. You're worth it. And you've got to do the things. We have to do the things. We just have to.
Yeah. So agreed. So agreed. What were some determining factors as to why you went into business for yourself?
COVID. Kind of COVID. Looking back, I wish I would have done things a little bit differently, but you never know what you know at the time until you actually go through it. And really COVID, like at the time, the world was still, people weren't coming inside. People were afraid to come inside. At the place where I was teaching, a lot of time we had to lighten up the classes. Our class capacity was 50. And so was really rocking it out, packing it out those classes. Oh, I missed those classes. But it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. A lot of people weren't coming in. They weren't doing their thing. So really wanted to get creative in a way. And that was actually the first time during COVID. That was actually when I bought my first set of bikes, of cycling bikes. So again, we were outside in parking lots. I had my little speakers. So it was just, really getting creative and trying to bring fitness to the people. Because there is no denying that those who move regularly and consistently, it is liberating. It helps your mental. And at that time, we needed all we could get to keep our mental intact. Yes. And Netflix. And Facebook. Yes. Because I don't know about you, but we got lots of ideas of things to watch on Facebook.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we really needed to get out and move. And so it was a blessing for me to be able to offer that, and really the drive for me to kind of start doing my own thing virtually with people. I was like a little mini Peloton thing before it got the bumping. It was kind of funny. Like I was recording videos and putting them out there. And like, if you have a bike at home, great. If you don't, like, I got a few that you can rent for me. Like, it was just kind of going with the flow, really, and being creative with how, again, meeting people where they were, trying to offer them convenient solutions. We couldn't be physically together, but how do I get this to you? How do I bring this into your space? How do I bring this to a place where you are safe and comfortable doing this and still taking care of yourself?
Right.
And so that was kind of where my mind was, I think, at the time. And then it still is, really, because it's still about convenience, I feel, for a lot of times for people. Like, if their gyms isn't in their neighborhood or if the place isn't nearby, like, you can forget about it. But sometimes if you have a dynamic instructor, too, they will make that drive as well. So it's really simply, again, one size doesn't fit all. We just got to find that thing. And this is the thing that I want to help in providing people is convenience.
Very nice. Very nice. Alrighty. What was one accomplishment in 2023 that you were especially proud of?
Well, the first one, I was thinking about this question when I read this. So the first thing I think I want to go to first is I was a part of a program at Zora's House. And I was struggling, like just trying to figure out, just needed some motivation when I needed to get out. I needed to meet people. I needed to become re-engaged. I felt in the community. I did a lot of community work when I worked nonprofit for many years. And I really missed kind of doing that work and that level of engagement. And so I needed to get out. I signed up to become a fellow at Zora's House, and I really felt a turn in me. And I wanted to give back to the house. And so I actually got some shirts made and printed for Juneteenth. And I donated like a nice portion. I was very happy with my portion.
Wonderful.
That I donated back to the house and to their program, because I just believe that, when people pour into you, do what you can to pour back into them. They do amazing work in this community, especially for women of color, communities of color. And so I was very grateful for my time with them and my continued time with them. I'm still in the house. And that was probably my most rewarding. But secondly, I have to add that I decided to step out and do Muscles and Mimosas. So I think I had my first one in August. And it was an idea I had toyed with a really long time. There was a popular place here in the city, and I really loved the space and their kind of makeup. And I just was like, this would be a really cool space to do like a fitness pop-up. And I just started inquiring. I started asking questions, and I got some yeses. And I just ran with it. And I did it for every month for the remainder of 2023. And now it's like, sorry, January went really fast. And people are like, well, where are we at? Are we doing the next one? What's happening? I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. But those are, I think, two of my top, highlights for 2023.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Those are great highlights.
Thank you. Cynthia's going to be at the next one.
Yes, mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Cynthia, let's go.
We kind of already touched on this. Mm-hmm. Actually, we can skip that because we did talk about that one already. Okay. So let's go on to the next. What upcoming project or projects do you have this year for 2024 that you're especially excited about?
I wasn't very planful with this year. Yep, I confess. Yep, I didn't plan it. I didn't plan it at all.
Well, but continuing the Muscles and Mimosas, that's...
Yes. I'm definitely going to do that. My promise to myself is to get out and be more engaging. Meet people, not every day, but get out, meet more people. And just continue to, get re-excited, I guess, if that's a word, about what I love. And I do love this work. Just even for myself, when I finish a workout, or when I'm with a group of people and we finish a workout, and the smiles and the energy is just unbreakable. Like, it's the best feeling ever. And for me to be a part of that experience, it gives me so much joy. Because it's like, you know what? I was a part of that with you, and you feel amazing right now, and you about to go handle the world right now.
Yes.
And I'm so excited for you.
Yes.
I'm so excited for you. And there's nothing like that feeling. And I love doing that work, or just when people have a really good week with following like their meal plan, or following their exercise plan, or leg pressing 180 pounds, which I did with one of my colleagues this week. She's not very happy with me today, but that's okay. But she's growing, like seeing people's progression in the gym and in their journey and where they want to go and how they want to get there. Do I know all the times, or again, that formula on how to get there? No, because everybody different. It's a trial and error for me too as your coach, because it's a lot of things that people don't like to do, but they know they need to do. And it's a lot of persuading that has to go on to kind of get people to cross over.
Yes.
Or just try it. If you don't know, we won't know. But then if you don't try it, then we'll never know. So It's like, really kind of, it is an investment on both sides. But again, it is something that I love, because once that happens and that light bulb goes off, man. And I just love being part of that process with people. That's it. That's it. Sharing what I love, sharing what brings me joy, sharing their goals and their successes. Yeah, that makes me happy.
Yes, that sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
Yes.
What are some of your morning routine success habits?
So remember I said your trainer or your coach here is not perfect either, right? My favorite that I have actually fallen off of, and I'm going to get back on because it was the best way for me to start my day. And don't any of y'all laugh, but I have fallen off of taking or drinking my protein shakes every morning. And that is my jam. And people who know, because I've made them for several people, and they be like, I don't know why, but when I try to make my own, they don't come out like this. So basic, so simple. But I've fallen off of that. And I feel it. I feel it in my body. I feel it in, sometimes the way I perform, because for me and my body, I can feel first thing in the morning when I'm eating my greens, I'm getting my protein, I'm getting my berries, I'm getting maybe just water or that almond milk, or just and some cinnamon. Gotta add the cinnamon. That starts my day, and it kind of sets me on the path to making better choices during the course of the day. And I have fallen off, friends. And that's a big routine for me. People are kind of like, that's so basic and so whatever. But yes, if you start, for me, when I consume healthy things first thing in the morning, that sets me on the path to wellness, to have a better day. I just feel better. I perform better. I make healthier choices. And usually that protein shake may come after my first class that I'm teaching that morning, if I have class that morning. But even if I don't have class that morning, I would always leave the house with my protein. Trying not to get on my phone first thing in the morning. Still working on that. But I have apps. Like I use the Headway app, or anything for affirmations, or any quick learning tidbits that I could get in the morning, and podcasts. Oh yes, podcasts. Yes. That I listen to quite often in the car. But I know we're talking about the morning. So really, for me, it's the protein shake, getting up and taking some quiet time, and setting the course of the day. And it usually starts there for me.
I totally agree, because I feel like I've found when I would eat terrible breakfasts, especially, something greasy and just full of fat, you almost shoot yourself in the foot, because now the rest of the day you are trying to climb up out of this pit that you're sliding back. You're tired now. You're sleepy. You don't have energy to do the things that you need to do. It's starting with that first breakfast, that first meal.
Yep. That. all of that. It is. It makes you feel sluggish,
Yes.
and it just really kind of doesn't set us up for success. I feel
No.
like first thing in the morning, and when we don't choose the things that we know that are going to fuel our bodies in the way that it needs to. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and that could be, again, one of those small changes that we try to incorporate. And again, maybe it's not every day, but maybe you try it a few days of the week and see how well you do. Do you journal at all? Like, people, if you journal and kind of track the things that you consume during the day, not only what you eat, but also what you drink, friends, that's just as important. But just to kind of see how that dictates or how it changes your day, it could be eye-opening.
Yes.
You know, it can be eye-opening for some people to really see, because sometimes we don't think about it.
Right. Right. We're not mindful.
We're just
doing stuff.
Yep.
Just doing stuff.
Know that I need to eat because, or not eating enough. Hello, Exhibit A. Sometimes it happens. When life, sometimes we don't eat enough, which again doesn't give us the fuel that we need to perform. Because we always feel like that we got to be in a deficit. Now, be smart about that deficit. Are you getting all your other macros in at the same time? Your proteins, your healthy fats, and carbs are not the enemy, friends. You just got to choose the right ones.
Agreed.
And again, finding the right ones that suit your body, and it's going to set you up for success. You know how your body, and maybe you journal about certain foods that you eat and how it makes you feel. Stay away from those that make you feel sluggish and that you're not up to performing and doing the things, and hone in more on the ones that that's going to, fuel you up and put you on fire for the day. Like, let's handle this. Yes.
Agreed. I love that. We're on the same page.
It's important.
All right. Now, what would present day Christina tell her 14 or 15-year-old self? What advice would you give?
Believe in yourself.
Oh, I love it.
I actually have that on a shirt too. Believe in yourself. Know that you are enough. I wish I would have started what I'm doing now probably sooner. Because many people were in my ear saying, like, you can do this, you can, blah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but here we are, and that's fine. But I would never trade what I was doing in my nonprofit life, because I think that definitely laid a foundation for me doing and being where I am right now. In my nonprofit work that I used to work for an organization that provided family violence education and information, domestic violence, child abuse, all the things. And people were like, oh, it's so heavy. Yeah, it is. But it's real talk, it's real conversation, and it happens every day.
Right.
Do we know how to recognize the signs? Do we know how to help? Do we know where the resources are? Do we know what to say? Safe things to say to people in those situations. So I used to do public engagements and speaking about these topics all the time. And, oh, Lord, did I have the worst fear of public speaking. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. And I will never forget my boss. She's amazing. Can I name drop on here?
Yes, please.
Karen Days. She know who she is. I remember the first time she had me speak, I thought I was going to lose my mind. But I knew from that point on, like, I'm where I need to be. First of all, doing this work, but then it kind of gave me the courage to get on a cycling bike in front of a group of people, sweaty, looking crazy, but still able to run the room and coach the room and guide the room and educate the room on another wave, educating them to something that's going to, in the long term, make them well and help them be better. And again, another area of service. I was serving people, educating them about something that's yucky and evil and nasty that happens in our world, but then on the flip side, giving them something that is going to help us and benefit us, and serving them and making them well. And so I knew that if I could stand in front of a room and speak about something so dark as family violence can be, but then being able to come into another space and just let it all hang out, and share my passion of music. I love music, y'all, and that's everything. I knew I could do this work. I just had to keep going with it and kind of take it to another level. And so I'm learning to do those things. So just wish I would have started sooner, but in believing in myself, I think I would have told my younger self starting this out for sure.
I love that. Great advice for sure.
Thank you.
And then my final question is just, do you have any final words or thoughts, anything that I didn't ask that you wanted to discuss? The floor is yours.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nothing that comes off of mine. If you are needing somebody who is empathetic, who is going to help be understanding, and who will coach you through all the things, may not always be what you want to hear when you want to hear it, but it's going to be what it's going to be. Like, receive it as you wish. Sometimes the truth hurts all of us, but sometimes it needs to be said. But know when, I always like to say when it comes from me, it's coming from a place of love. It's not necessarily to be evil, to be anything other than kind. But in this journey of wellness, we don't always, do the things that we need to do. And sometimes we need somebody to tell us the ugly, the maybe indifferent, and maybe some of those things that we don't want to hear. But we are here for you. I am here for you. I would love to help. I would love to coach. And maybe meet you if you're interested in doing any work. Please reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at CW Wellness by Design. I'm also on Facebook as CW Wellness by Design, and also Christina Wilson. Feel free to DM me on either one of those accounts. They both come to me, and just want to spread the love. That's it. I just want to spread the love.
Great. And we need more love in the world because there's so much more hate.
Well, I don't want to go there.
So we definitely need the love
I don't want to
spread.
go there.
Right.
We are living in a really funky time right now. That's the kindest delivery that I can say about it right now. But, know that there are people like us who believe in human kindness, and people that are going to do the right thing. And for those providing service in this world, we're servers of love. Like, we want to serve. We want people to be successful. And, love is unconditional. Yes. And that is a space that I come from, and that I definitely want to deliver in doing this work. So,
well, wonderful. There you have it, out of the mouth of the one and only Christina Wilson.
You're so kind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited. Thank you.
You're very welcome.